And you started the company, let's see, way back in 1999. So you did this for quite a while before you even got involved in franchising. Share with us a little bit about your franchise journey. Like when did you decide to do the concept or take the concept and franchise it? Like what was that turning
Uh,
point for you?
I mean, I'll say this, that, I always had this little dream in my head of wanting to be the biggest painting company in the world. I didn't know what the hell that meant, but I thought it. It was in my head. It took really me moving from New Jersey to North Carolina and starting all over again and creating a business that I had no help in, had to start it from ground zero in a whole new area. And after I did that and became, successful in my own right,
Mhm.
I said, I think I can help other people do this too. And so, I wanted to grow the business, and franchising seems like a world that you can grow your business, but also have other people who have as much skin in the game or as much, desire to be successful as I do.
Mhm.
And so that's when I looked into franchising and said, hey, maybe this is something that'll work.
So how long ago was that when you first started looking at franchising your company?
Gosh, I think I thought about doing it about 5 years ago, probably 5, 6 years ago.
Mhm.
And into doing that, what I did was, I wanted to prove to myself, well, am I just really good at this? Am I the greatest painter ever? Or, does it work without me? Right. And so what I did was, I went and started another location. I'm here in Salisbury, North Carolina. So we started another location in Mooresville, North Carolina, Lake Norman area.
Mhm.
And, started with, hired somebody to run it as a general manager, and they went from zero to doing over $200,000 in sales in the first year.
Wow.
And I decided, okay, this works without me. And so now I can say, okay, now I can have confidence going into franchising, knowing that, okay, this can work without me, so other people can be successful too.
Wow. And so you started franchising in 2020. And if my numbers
Yep.
are right here, you have 23 franchises open. What makes Richard's Painting unique compared to others that are in the industry? There was other painting franchises out there. And how have you been able
When
to
I
achieve this
first,
success?
uh, hard work, that's how. Right? Let's just say it, right?
Right.
It doesn't happen without it.
Right.
The determination to say that I'm going to make this work no matter what,
Hmm.
right? You see all these people talk about success and all this stuff. I mean, the main lever of success is not giving up, right?
Yes.
Is many people reach a certain point and then they quit because they think they can't get any further. They don't want to suffer. They don't want to go through tough times to get to the success,
Hmm.
right? I mean, success doesn't come without all that. So, at the very beginning when I first started, going from one location to two, then you go to three, and you're like, oh my God, I don't think it's ever going to happen. I don't think I'm ever going to get to five,
Right.
right? And so then you get to five, and you seven, 9, 10, 12, 15, and then you start to say, wow, this might work, right?
Right.
And so, I wasn't very, intelligent in the way of understanding franchising, right? I didn't know how it worked, didn't know, I think many people, this is a great, your podcast is a great thing because you can understand that everybody goes through a different journey in franchising, right? Nobody, there's some people who right away they're gonna, hook up with an FSO and they're gonna, light the world on fire. Other people like myself are gonna say, well, I'm gonna do it my way. I'm going to figure out a different way to do it and try to cultivate a program that works really well for me. And there's all different levels of success. I don't even feel successful, to be honest with you. Like I feel like I'm struggling, especially when you compare yourself to these people who are out there selling 100 locations in, 30 days, and you feel like I suck, right?
No.
But that's the mentality, right? Because you have to look to other things and say, okay, where do I need to improve? Where do I need to get better? Do I want to be that? No. Do I want to open up 100 locations in 6 months? Absolutely not.
Right.
But there are other people who succumb to that I don't know, it's like the effect of, having a spell put over you, that, their fear of missing out, that people jump and want to buy these locations and buy these locations because they're scared their territory might be gone.
Yeah.
So Richard's Painting is just a simple business, right? It's not complicated. It's not rocket science. We paint, right? Literally, every time people call me up and we got a problem, like, we're talking about paint here. This is it. It's all it is, paint. Okay? We can solve this problem. And so, plus, I'm not really big on overselling and under delivering. I
Hmm.
would rather undersell and overdeliver. I do that in our painting business, and I do that in a franchise business also. I'm never going to tell somebody that, if you do this for a year, you could be a millionaire, right? Because that's a lie, right? Now, when I say it's a lie based on, hey, if you spend like our marketing budgets, people don't believe me, are $750 a month, right? But that generates a sales where you could potentially do, 125,000 to 300,000, depending
Right.
on how much you hustle, right? Eventually, can you build $1 million business? For sure, but it just takes time, building reputation, building, brand awareness, building a customer base, and eventually you can get there and be really successful. I think about people who, when you look online, LinkedIn, Instagram, the whole world out there, social media, somewhere along the way, people think that if you're not a millionaire, you're not successful, right? Like
Mm.
if you're not doing millions of dollars in sales, well, you're terrible. You suck, right? And you hear this from people who are out there, promoting themselves and charging thousands and thousands of dollars to come hear them speak. But I think somebody who, let's say you were making 50 or $75,000 a year before, you're surviving, you're getting by, then you can start a business and generate an income of 100,000 to $200,000, even 300,000.
Hmm.
That's success. Last I checked, that's the top 1% of the country,
Absolutely.
right? And so that's what I'm trying to build. I'm trying to build people who, who are just, they want to be more successful than they were before, right? And then if they can build a business that, helps other people, not only themselves, their employees, the people around them, their family, creates a better lifestyle for themselves, to me, that's success. I don't, I'm not buying into this notion that if you don't scale this business from, one location to 20 locations in 6 months, well, you failed, right? I just want people to, if your sales last year were 150,000 and you can go to 200, great, you went forward,
Mhm.
right? You go to 250, whatever those numbers are. But, so I really try to keep people grounded, try to make sure that we're, having successful businesses with happy customers. And when you do that, the success follows.
Mhm.
I didn't start this franchise to just generate income from people, right? I didn't just do this to say, well, if I get 1,000 locations, I'm getting 6% and I'm going to make this much money and this is great. I just assume that, well, if I build a really good business and have really good people, I'm going to make money, right? It's going to work out, and so that's my philosophy. I don't know if it's current with many other people's philosophy, but I just want to have happy people, right? Whether it's happy franchisees, happy
Mhm.
customers. I wish I could make my wife that happy all the time, but that's harder to do, because I'm just an asshole. But if I could get past that, I'd be really good.
Thank you for tuning into the Emerging Franchise Brands podcast. For additional insights, guest applications, and to stay connected, visit us at efbpodcast.com. The Emerging Franchise Brands podcast is for entertainment purposes only, and the views expressed do not necessarily represent those of Emerging Franchise Brands, its host Frank Fumey, or Emerging Franchise Group LLC. Any discussed franchise or investment opportunity requires thorough investigation, obtaining proper disclosure documents, and expert consultation before making any investment decisions. The podcast and its host do not offer professional advice or endorsements, and they hold no responsibility for actions, representations, accuracy, or consequential damages related to the podcast content.